Welcome to the BXG podcast, the podcast where pop culture and nerd culture meet at the nexus of the universe and are melded as seamlessly as French fries and dead hookers. I am one of your hosts, the Alpha Donut Guy, Brett Bestwick, alongside my co-host, a man who, in fact, uh, also works at PNP and, in fact, does the same thing I do. He also has a penchant for Valentino suits and Oliver People's glasses. We even go to the same barber, although I have a slightly better haircut. Gregory T. Filson, the third.
Hi,
Greg.
Bretton. How are you doing? You always ask me first. How are you doing?
I was so hot today.
Like Hansel,
And
different movie, but still.
yeah, right. Different than Hansel entirely because we had like a work cookout thing and I ate way too much food to the
This was
point that
at work. It wasn't like a post-work thing that you
no, it was out.
voluntarily
Yeah,
went to.
yeah.
Okay.
No, no. But it was like I ate so much food. So this was the menu that I ate: a cheeseburger, 2 hot dogs, a brat, 3 chicken tenderloins, a plate of pasta salad that was like a man-sized
God.
plate, bag of chips, and probably like 5 or 6 cookies. So
Wow.
yeah, it hurt. And I had to like
Yeah.
stand up and I would just like be standing and hurting and so hot. And then I would just like let a little bit of burp out and I'd be like, it's coming. We'll get there
Yeah.
eventually.
I mean, you've been to a couple events with me where, there's the snacking, and I never
Yeah.
sit down. I'm a big eat and walk guy. I'm a lot like Brad Pitt in the Ocean's movies. I'm always picking. I don't have a lot generally, like a lot to eat, but I just always am eating something. Today was one of those rare days. I also ate a lot. Now, relative to you, it's different, but a lot of food for me. I'm not a huge like eat a breakfast person.
I didn't eat
I
breakfast.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
I pretty much never eat breakfast actually.
I go for my morning run and then I have my coffee and a protein shake, and that's usually my breakfast. That's all I need. I don't really have much. But today, it is Janie's sister Shelly's birthday today as we're recording. And
Happy
so we went
birthday.
out for brunch. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not like, whatever. We're doing that. So I get a BLT. It was weird because I've been
That
seeing a lot
sounds
of
great,
BLT.
actually.
Yeah. Oh, it was delicious. I mean, you can tell, it's fresh produce, tomatoes. I only get BLTs in season, tomatoes in season. Otherwise, yeah, you got to have tomatoes in season for me.
Okay. I was gonna say
Um,
it's always in season. BLTs
not,
are
I mean,
always in
not
season.
well,
Are you a bread toast or bun guy on the BLT?
toasted bread, sourdough. I
Okay.
can't have anything else. It's too much because it's already a lot of a sandwich. I mean, if you're doing it right, you got good gob of mayo. Yeah, sun's out, guns out on both sides here. So I had that and a beer, nice 10-15 beer
Oh
for
my.
everybody else was having like a cocktail. And this is one thing I've learned in
What the
my 30,
fuck?
37, a cocktail, they're on vacation mode.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I
Cocktail at
can't
10:15.
do I can't do a morning. I can do a morning beer, sparingly. I don't condone that behavior. I probably have. I bet I didn't have any morning beers in Chicago. I didn't have any like early afternoon beers in Chicago because it was just like run all the time. But well, the last day I guess I had like a beer at 1 because I was mad about the
The
whole
game. Yeah.
game. But now I
Right.
digress on that end. So I had that and that threw me off, like just having that much food. French fries were included with this, which we will get into on that
Indeed.
on this episode. And then it's about 4 hours. I baked a cake today. Did not have the cake, but of course you're eating the stuff that you can't get into the cake batter, into the dishes and all that stuff. That's just a
Obviously.
lot of sugar. And I don't have a
Yeah.
lot of sugar in my daily life either. So this is throwing me off.
I
And
did.
then we go to celebrate Shelly's birthday, and there's cake. And it's a big old stack cake from Milk Bar. And it was delicious, but also something I'm not accustomed to just eating. And then I came home and had tacos, Taco Wednesday, and I am feeling Like I honestly like I have a beer normally during the show for like just have a beer during the show. I'm
Mm.
having a beer right now just to see if I can burp. I'm hurting. Your boy is hurting hard right now. Like it probably doesn't seem like a lot, but for me, when I'm not used to that, I like to have a massive dinner. That's how I eat. I maybe pick a little bit during the day, and then I like a big old dinner. Big dinner. I had pack in most of my calories, all my calories usually at dinner. And I'm feeling it right now. I mean, there's a lot of not healthy foods either. That's the other thing, not healthy foods. I'm generally pretty healthy when it comes to my eating habits.
Yeah.
You may see my pizza and things, but most of the time it's not that kind of stuff.
Yeah. On the other hand, I eat like radioactive garbage. And so it's been like this week of like events for work during work. And on on Monday, the event was catered by Moe's Southwest Grill. You familiar with Moe's? It's in
I am
Cranberry.
familiar with this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never had it, but I've seen it.
I ate 10 chicken tacos.
Oh my God. Back in the day, I used to be able to crush soft tacos.
I don't like soft tacos. I don't like the
crunchy
texture.
Tacos?
Yeah, crunchy tacos.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like the texture of the tortilla.
Oh, okay.
I do not like that.
I'm a texture guy, so if you don't like a texture, I can't say anything against you.
I don't like the texture of the fajita burrito tortilla flat, whatever. I don't like it. And so I go crunchy, and since they had it, crunchy rice, chicken, lettuce, tomato, cheese, sour cream, or salsa, not both. And then I just kept eating. I just kept because we go. Well, here's the thing, right? Is like
it's
number one,
it's good.
It was a catered thing, and it's like I feel like the company's paying for everyone to eat. I'm gonna eat. Sure. And if people are leaving food, then I'm gonna keep eating because leftovers are for fucking bitches.
Just like ketchup is for losers, as I said in my pizza video.
Leftovers are for quitters. So I'm gonna eat 10 tacos. And guess what? Paid the price. So I did.
What age did you start having indigestion, Brenton?
Well,
this is a new thing for me. It's just really been the past 2 years, maybe.
Like I didn't eat like this. I've always eaten like bad things, right? Like that's not new, but just eating like the insane quantities of food is more so just like, because what's funny is I'm not a social person, as we kind of know.
We've discussed this here and
there. But I have had more like different social interactions over the last few years. And I will not be the guy that goes somewhere and like drinks. And it's like, oh, it's just like, we're going out for drinks. It's a work thing at previous jobs. For example, like the one job we would get together with one of our like county people that we serviced, whatever, for a Christmas thing every year. And it's like, well, I'm not going to drink and everybody else is drinking because I don't like drinking. I find the taste of beer repulsive. Sure. And I don't really like mixed drinks are like just a bad idea because you've had a couple drinks with me time to time. I think a lot of people get looser when they drink and I just become more of this. It's just more of it.
Yeah, that is actually a fact. I would say for me, there's a good level for me, and I have become more chatty.
I've seen you exceed that level.
And and there's that, and it's a thin line. Remember that old game where you roll like the marbles with the penguins or whatever, with like the real thin. I forget what it was called. Anyhow, it's as thin as that. Yeah. For anybody out there, I have no idea. Maybe I'll look it up, but thin as ice. Thin as a.
Well, I will say when you cross that threshold, it's kind of like a hurricane.
Oh,
because you like everybody knows it's coming. You can't get out of its way. And when he leaves town, there's a lot of cleaning.
There's a lot to clean up.
There's a lot of cleaning up to do.
I will agree. I don't really have those moments now. Obviously, the
Sure.
older I got, it happens. It has
Yeah.
happened. I will not. Alaska has happened. Alaska. It happens to everybody because it messes you up. You're just there. They had this drink called a rainmaker. Well, it's not a drink. It's just an order. You get a rainier beer, and you
Yeah.
get a shot of Maker's Mark.
Banker's
And
Mark. Maker's Mark.
Maker's Mark.
Banker's
Maker's Mark.
not Banker's Mark.
No,
Or Banker's
Maker's
Club.
Mark. And
Okay.
the guys I used to work with the newspaper, I was still really good friends with after I left there. And I went out with them a lot.
I think isn't
And
that from Sam's Club?
Maker's
Members
Mark?
Mark. No, Members Mark. Sorry.
Maker's
Okay.
Mark is just whiskey.
Yeah, okay.
And
My bad.
it has the red dipped bottle. That's
Yeah.
that. It's famous for that. And there was a night there where we just kept ordering.
Yeah.
And it just didn't stop. And I was feeling good until I wasn't. And then it just was like, and we lived up a hill from that bar, and that was a struggle. But now, I know my limit. I know my limits now.
Yeah.
And I've always known my limits, but it's just that thing that you said. It gets messy. And when it gets messy, it gets bad. But back to yours, you don't drink at these things because you don't want to become more secluded.
I don't drink, and like I want to stay in that kind of social realm, so I just eat.
Mm-hmm.
And like, as I recall going to that Christmas party thing with the county at one of my other jobs, it was like I ate like a basket of wings, a basket of pretzels, 5 or 6 pieces of pizza. I just keep going,
Sure.
And then even there was at the job that I have previous to the one that I have now, I jump around on jobs probably more than I should, but they had like a baby sprinkle for one of the employees where you do it at work. It's not like a full baby shower. It's just like everybody's going to eat.
Oh, okay.
And so there was an Olive Garden like right up the street. So they got Olive Garden, and Dallas can stipulate to this whenever he comes on the show next. Everybody had like their order plus salad, breadsticks, and then there was cake or pie for like the whole thing. And I got spaghetti, as I do, from Olive Garden, and I had a salad
with or sans meatball.
Meat sauce. I'm more of a meat sauce.
A bolognese.
Yeah. So I had the salad, and then I had some breadsticks. I eat a lot of breadsticks when I go to Olive Garden because I love
most people do.
Right. Well, that's the thing is most people are like, oh yeah, I had a lot of breadsticks. How many did you have? 5 or 6. I'm like, how many did you? I had a lot of breadsticks. How many did you have? 10 or 12. And
nice like, dozen.
Yeah, baker's dozen. And so then I ate all of my spaghetti. I just ate all my spaghetti. And Dallas looks over and he's like, is nobody else fucking seeing this? Like, he's just done. Everybody else is taking all of it home as leftovers. And it's just gone. And so like, that's my thing in those things is like, I don't drink. I'm not overly chatty. So I'm just, tell me about you while I eat everything in sight. And so, I mean, obviously it hasn't contributed in a healthy way to my lifestyle, but I don't do it all that much, and
just when it happens, it happens. And
yeah. What the hell did we have on the one day last week? Oh, we had a tour of a college, and their buffet style dining hall was open. So I got after that pretty good. So
it's impressive.
I just eat a lot. I'm not like a speed eater. I've said this before.
I fly through food. Well, it's crazy. And I love food, and I like enjoying it. Excuse me, I still there. Oh my gosh, that burp made me feel so much better. Oh my God. What a relief that was. I run through food so fast, and I can eat a lot if given the moment. I have to be mentally and physically prepared to do it. I think about it.
I'm like, I read this Michael Jordan book one time, and he said averaging 32 points a game in the NBA is easy because he knows he only has to score 8 points per quarter.
Right.
Okay.
I've seen that clip.
And so you can get those 8 points in any manner of ways, get to the free throw line, get in the paint, long distance, whatever, easy money, 32 points a game. I'm kind of the same way with food, where it's just like it's in the flow of the game. I know that I can average a high amount if I just like today it was like, well, there were those 4 meats. I'm like, well, I'm gonna try a little bit of everything,
Right. Sure.
and then it ends up being the weight of a small child. And so and I even said at one point, I'm like, I feel awful, but I have to finish this chicken tenderloin on the
I mean, I have those moments where it's like the biggest thing for me, and I guess I'll play it back into the social thing, is like I am more social than you. I definitely used to be way more social than most people. I think once you are with the person that you're gonna spend the rest of your life with,
you kind of stop.
You soften down on that, because the whole goal of talking to people is to find the person you're supposed to be with. I think to get a job.
Yeah, build relationships.
I was I always marketed myself a lot. And like with newspaper stuff, you went to that stuff because you're like, I don't want to work at this newspaper anymore. Maybe I can find somebody else.
Right.
And in the newspaper business, drinking is just it's maybe bigger than anything. It's like drinking and then writing is actually how that works. And I remember going to things, and it's like in college, even, especially in college. And I went back to one after college, and it's just, you're saying that about like not drinking. It's like, I didn't drink the last one I went to in college because I just knew that like it would just lead to bad things. And people were just so messy. But I did eat because I wasn't drinking, because I had nothing else filling me. I ate so much food at that thing because I was just doing the thing you said, where you're like, I have to be social and I need to be doing something. You feel weird if you don't have anything in your hands.
Yes.
So I get that.
Exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's why at weddings, I'm like I said, I'm a Brad Pitt at Ocean's movies. I'm always snacking on something.
Yeah.
I rarely actually eat a lot of the real meal. I'll have like a few bites of the real meal, but I'd rather, a perfect wedding to me is, and I won't even have this because I have something different, I think, at mine, at ours. But I like just hors d'oeuvres. Just give me hors d'oeuvres all day.
Little hordivores.
A little hors d'oeuvres, and just crush those. Just have thousands of canapes. A little wieners in pigs in a blanket. All that good stuff. Good stuff.
I don't like
little bags of French fries. That'd be sick.
When
little things of French fries would be sick.
When I got married, we just said, this is what the menu is.
Right.
And that was fine.
But yeah, the cookie table.
We did have the cookie table, which I learned that's like a Western Pennsylvania thing.
There was actually a story about 12 years ago in the New York Times about it, and how it actually started in it started, I believe, in a Polish community in Pittsburgh.
Shocking.
Polish community.
The same place that those awful Permane Brothers sandwiches started at.
Hey, don't get after that. But
I hate those sandwiches.
Really?
They're disgusting.
I like them fine.
They're no, they're terrible.
I mean, I also haven't. The other thing is,
you haven't had one in like a decade.
I haven't had one since college. I don't think.
Okay. So almost.
I don't think so.
15
years. Yeah, it's been 15 years. That's crazy. But I love a cookie table. I love it. I'd rather cookie table is a number one thing for me. I'll definitely have a cookie table. If I have to make all the cookies myself, I'll do it. I don't care. But
I learned because I went to our friend EJ's wedding down in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And all that. The North Carolinians were like, we don't know what this is or why it's here, but we love it. It's like, well, that's the cookie table. That's just what you do. And they were like, we don't do that. And that's when I learned that it was just kind of like a Western Pennsylvania thing. But I will say that this week, light on topics. We
are light on top. It's it's the dog days. Officially the dog days of summer now. Baseball deadline is passed. Once that happens, you get a little we're a little soupy. It's hot.
So we
it's
kind of
very pleasant here, but
it was 94 degrees today, and I was out at this picnic, and tomorrow is supposed to be 97 degrees, and you can imagine the humidity here. It's just like
120%.
It's like being punched in the dick by Mike Tyson in his prime.
I was at the
That's
beach
how-
today. There was a nice ocean breeze. I think it was about 75.
Sure.
We're gonna be on the ocean tomorrow.
Here's the thing is, like, spring and fall weather here is pretty much perfect.
Oh, it's great weather.
But the winters and the summers can go to hell. They just go right to hell.
I always like that. I mean, I'm okay with hot weather. Honestly, I like hot weather.
I'm a bigger guy too.
Right,
so.
you're a bigger guy. I've always, even when I was a little fat kid, I still liked hot summers. The winters killed me. But I'll tell you what, that last 2 weeks in September, the first 2 weeks in October,
it's stretched out a little bit more now. It's because of climate change.
Yeah.
Where it's like the last 2 weeks of September until the last 2 weeks of December. It's just like fine.
Yeah. Here, the hottest month is September or October. We call it Hot-tober, and then it gets a little hot in November. We call it Hovember.
Right.
And it's just, whew.
Hey, I'll tell you what, hot take. August, worst month of the year.
I don't even think it's a hot take. I think January has a nice fighting chance. Those two are in the ring together.
New Year's. It's a holiday that you get off from work.
That's true.
There's another one
off in August.
There's another one in there, like President's Day or something, is in January.
Yeah,
Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King. I get it. That whole holiday. Yeah, it's Martin Luther King.
So that's it. And then the end of August, when you're a kid, it's like your summer's over. You have to go back to school.
Go back. And what you think about at the beginning of August, I got to go back to school. You just
it just drags your whole month down.
Yep, it's a bummer. I feel that right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm feeling it,
and it's just August sucks. It sucks.
Yeah, and there's nothing like baseball is like the only sport really happening. And it's at this point, if your team's out of it, you know it.
Yeah.
If your team's in it, that's good. I mean, that makes it exciting. But if your team's out of it,
Martin Luther King, that's the other one. Yeah,
that's right. If your team's out of it, then you're just like, well, I have 2 more months of baseball, and that's it. Now, luckily, the end of August does lead into college football for the college football people, but the games are usually, so
in the NFL,
but that's more September.
Well, you get training camp and preseason games, but
training
I don't get into it the same way I used to.
But you got Baker, shaking Baker,
right? Shaking.
How's he looking?
Who cares? It's training camp. They don't even have friggin' pads on.
I heard Kenny Pickett's looking good for the Steelers.
Couldn't tell you.
That's what I've heard.
Good. I feel so bad that Kenny Pickett went to the Steelers.
Oh, me too.
Because even if he's a Hall of Famer, I can't root for him.
Right.
I just
can't either.
Him and his little baby hands, allegedly.
His little baby hands. Yeah, I know. It's a bummer.
So we're light on topics. We're gonna have a throwback movie review, and we're gonna do some other just sort of nonsensical topics. The first one is, and this came out of conversation from the cookout that I was at today. Rank these 5 French fry styles, from 5 being the worst, 1 being best. Curly fry, waffle fry, fresh cut.
Fresh cut is with the skin.
Yeah.
The potato peel.
That
was weird. Don't.
Yeah. Waffle, crinkle, waffle, crinkle, curly, fresh cut, and then restaurant style, which restaurant style is kind of more like what's behind me right now.
I call those shoestrings, but
as do I.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's hard to say
so
restaurant.
Steak fries are out of here. We don't have
steak fries. We're not doing steak fries. We're not doing sweet potato fries. We're not doing zucchini fries. Any of that shit.
Wow. So I mean, I would say you did pick the top 5.
Yeah, exactly.
You do have the 5.
Right.
So
time out. This doesn't have anything to do. Like, this isn't my thing. This is credit guest and friend of the program, Barry Jones.
Okay, so you got shoestring, curly, waffle. I'm just making sure.
Curly, waffle, fresh cut, window fry, waffle fry, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, waffle. Okay. Wow. Okay. This is tough.
No wedge. We're not doing wedges. We're not.
No wedges. Wedges are
wedges have to be made correctly. I actually like wedges when they're made correctly.
If
They
they're
have to
made
be
correctly, I've
cooked.
never had it.
Fair enough. They
I
have
would
to be
just
cooked
say
the whole way through, or else they get
they got to be cooked the whole way through.
starchy.
I honestly think with a steak fry and a wedge, those things need to be triple fried, as if like you're making fries at a French restaurant where you do it 3 times.
Were you fried them
Because
3 times? You mean?
yeah, you fry
Yeah.
them 3 times. That's the only way to make those fries good, because steak fries can go and rot hell. But we're not talking about
No,
steak
we're
fries.
not talking about steak fries.
They are the worst, though.
Right.
Wow. Okay. I will say 5 for me is curly fries.
So, same. When I
I
worked
am
at
not.
Arby's,
I'm not
can
even a fan of
suck
the
one.
Arby's ones. I was actually like
No.
a potato cake guy back in the day, and I think like I haven't had Arby's.
Oh,
in
what you want me to
25
fry you up some latkes?
Yeah.
You
Fry me up some
spin
latkes.
a dreidel. You don't spin
Easy
them
with the
right.
anti-Semitic remarks.
Jeez, I forgot you were dating somebody from the ACLU.
I just don't. The worst is when you make curly fries at home if you don't have a deep fryer, and I don't have. Unfortunately, here in my humble abode, I do not have a in-counter deep fryer to do my curly fries. Yeah, it's just they're a mess. Like oven curly fries make me gag. Oh, because like I said, I'm a texture guy. It's disgusting.
If you're making them at home, what do you air fry or?
If I do, I don't have an air fryer. I rarely make French fries at home. I'll be honest. Yeah. It's not a.
Did I tell you about getting my air fryer?
Did I tell you have an air fryer?
Yeah, did I tell you about it?
I don't think so.
I felt like Princess Jasmine because I was in a whole new world.
It is nice. Jamie's mom has one, and Jamie's parents have one. What did I make? I made donuts in there. So that was kind of
donuts. Cool. Chicken nuggets. I made a freaking steak in there one night.
That's wild. So you do that and then you sear it?
No.
That sounds weird.
No, it was perfectly.
That's wild times.
The whole way through.
Why do I have waffle twice? Okay, so I have
waffle,
curly fries,
curly fries number 5.
Okay. Oh.
Crinkle. Don't forget the
Crinkle. That's the one.
Yeah. Okay. Fresh cut, curly, waffle, crinkle, shoestring.
I think Crinkle's 4.
Mm-hmm.
For me, because
garbage shit that they used to serve you in the cafeteria in high school.
Well, the thing is like you can have a good crinkle. I would say that Shake Shack, if you've been to a Shake Shack, has a nice crinkle. I don't know if they have Shake Shacks in Western Pennsylvania.
No, I was thinking Steak and Shake, but yeah.
Okay, no, Shake Shack is like the green logo. The burgers. I'll say the burgers at Shake Shack definitely overrated. But the fries, the crinkle's good because they do something different. I'm not sure how they fry them, but they're pretty solid. But most of the time, definitely the worst oven. Well, I can't go of the 5 we have. Crinkle's the worst
in the oven. Yes,
it's the worst. You can't ever make them right.
They have to be crispy.
They almost. I would say they almost have to be on the verge of burnt, like that stage. Yeah. That line that is so close to burnt, and then they're okay. And this is before we get fully into it, Brendan. I have a thing with French fries, and this goes more with what's behind you, but in general, I actually don't. I don't go looking to dip my French fries. When it comes to like a McDonald's fry, I don't dip a McDonald's fry. I love my McDonald's fries just naked. Yeah, I like a naked McDonald's fry. But what is your dip of choice for a fry? Ketchup. Yeah. I don't mind mayo. I know there's a lot of people that hate mayo. Yeah, mayo's a topic. Mayo's what they dip them in like Belgium.
Oh, actually, redacted. A Wendy's Frosty.
I've only done it a few times. It's fine. It's good. Wendy's fries need to be dumped in oil and fried again and then burnt and tossed out into the garbage.
Well, here's the thing.
Wendy's fries, they keep trying to think their fries are good. And
we've talked about this, that McDonald's is the superior fast food fry. Really, nobody's going to touch that. It's kind of like how like the richest person in the state that you live in is like this rich,
right?
And the next richest person's like this rich,
right?
It's just like, you know what I mean? The first person is like he's 2.1 billion, and then the next person's like 900 million, but he's still the
Right.
second richest. But there's just a very large gap.
I think the problem, and this is with that whole the Frygate, however you want to say it, is everyone needs to stop competing with McDonald's and actually just compete within themselves.
Yeah. Make
Don't
the
even
best
compare
fry you
yourself.
can make. Make the
Yeah,
best fry you can make.
Mace Burst fry. You don't worry about because you can't do it.
No.
They used to cook their fries in beef fat. They stopped doing it, and for like I think it was for vegetarian reasons. They want vegetarians to be able to eat their fries, and then they were good then, and they're still good. And they put it in veggie oil. I mean, like
Yeah.
they just know what they're doing. But I digress. Do you also have Crinkle 4?
Yeah.
You have Crinkle 4? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this is where it gets a little tougher for me. I'm probably gonna go Waffle for 3.
Yeah. Let me make the case for Waffle real quick. Because
Sure, yeah, make the
I
case
think
for
that we would
Waffle.
probably have the same 5. Real quick, make the case for Waffle. I think if you are a dipper, the waffle is the superior fry because you get more of whatever you're dipping.
And they always need. I feel like
It's a
Waffle
little
always need a
girthier.
dip. Yeah, it's a little
Yeah.
girthier. It does the nice thing about a waffle. The best thing about a waffle is if it's done properly, all the crispy bits. Because all the little tops,
Yeah,
whatever you want to
they
call
get a
them,
little
are all
seared.
crispy.
Yeah, little burnt.
It's great. It's a great. It's just you don't see them that often, and B, you never know. Like that's the other thing. Like if they have Waffle, you're like, ooh, do you have the other fries?
Right.
You're definitely skeptical if it's the only option. And you got to go with it. It can be good. I've never been wowed by a waffle fry. I think that's probably the biggest
if you
thing.
go to a place and eat and you order like a burger and fries and they bring you a plate of waffle fries, unbeknownst to you if it's a new place,
right?
Are you like, okay, this is fine, or are you kind of let down?
I'm definitely let down. I'm also definitely at that point. No thinking needed. What can I dip these in? What are my options?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I like a waffle dip is like a little bit of ranch and hot sauce mixed.
Yeah, that's good. I like what I did this today with my French fries. They were good, but they weren't. They still needed something. And we call this the David method after my future brother-in-law, but Shelly's husband. He does a thing where he has his ketchup and then he sprinkles pepper into his ketchup and then mixes it around. It's a great idea, David style. And then
is that like Gangnam style?
And then I do spicy David. I put a little tapatio in there as well.
Yeah,
delicious.
Right. So 3 for you is the waffle.
3 for me is the waffle. What's it
for you? It's the 3 for me also.
Now, I think this is where it gets real tough because
here's the thing about fresh cut is you're never getting a real fresh cut fry unless it's like at a fair and they're cutting the potatoes in the back. There's nowhere else. You're not getting a fresh cut from Wendy's, even though that's what they say.
No.
Fresh frozen. It's not. I'm sorry, it's not. You're not getting a fresh cut from Five Guys. You're not getting a fresh cut from Sonic, any of these other places that may say fresh cut. You're just not. And so
I got to see the guy in the back
hammering the potatoes.
Yeah.
That's it. And so because I don't think that there's really enough of that going on, even though that is an awesome fry, the fresh cut fry, it falls short of the restaurant style fry, specifically the McDonald's fry.
Right. And I think this is where I was going to say is it's the rarity of it that makes it almost like I want to put it 1 because when you go to the fair, and for me, the best of this style fry is the fireman fries at the Stoneboro Fair. I've been to many fairs in my day. I don't know what they did. I don't know what they're still doing. They're probably still delicious, but damn, I can kind of taste it right now. And I would never go back to Stoneboro, Pennsylvania unless somebody got, ransomed out and I had to, it's some sort of weird issue like that. But I wish I could have those fries. I've been to other fairs and nobody's done it quite as well as that. Little malt vinegar on those bad boys.
Yeah, you get a little vinegar. Yeah, I used to cut fries at the Jefferson Fair. I used to
Yeah,
cut
I
fries.
had your
Yeah.
fries, right? Didn't I? I didn't.
No,
No, I
no,
didn't
I
have your
was in high
fries.
school. Yeah, no.
Okay, I didn't have your fries, but
Yeah.
I did been to the Jet Swift pair. Those are pretty
Oh
good
God.
fries.
Yeah. You know what makes a great? I'll tell you what is the best topping for a fresh cut fry? Cheese. A little nacho
And I'm
cheese.
not a, I'll be honest, I'm not a big cheese fry guy. Um, for me, it is the fresh cut fry with the malt vinegar and then a ketchup dipper. Or
So
if you're just a real,
is that your one or your two?
it's my two.
Okay.
And the reason is because I was gonna say the rarity of it makes it feel like it should be one, but I can't
Yeah.
have if it's something I can only have literally maybe 2 weeks out of the entire year. It's hard to put
Yeah.
it one. It's
Right.
like a special truffle or something. It's like I can't. So it's delicious,
Mm.
and when you have it, you're like, oh my god, this is really good. But for me, it is the restaurant, the McDonald's, the shoestring, because very rarely are they ever bad in this style.
I mean, if you're getting, yeah, it's just like, unless you're getting like, oh my God, Burger King fries are the worst. They might as well be Crinkle.
They might as well not even have fries on their menu
Yeah, they're terrible.
because their tater tot things for breakfast are delicious if they still have them. I honestly, that's another thing I haven't had in a long time.
Right.
But their little tot thing.
Who's going to breakfast at McDonald's or Burger King?
I don't know. I did back in the day, way back, 20 years ago. I bet 20
That's
years
disgusting.
ago.
So there's your definitive
Cine minis. So we have the same five.
Yeah, we have the same 5 definitive lists, and that's I guess it's fact now.
And it comes out on Friday. So.
Oh, there
Yeah.
you go. So the next thing that we're going to do today or in this episode was just kind of wanted to talk about our YouTube channel, man.
Yeah.
We do have a YouTube channel. We've mentioned it a few times. You subscribe over there. That'd be cool if you would.
Please do.
We're doing we've been advertising it for probably like a year now, but once we get to 100 subscribers, we're gonna give away a $25 Amazon gift card. And when we get to 250, we're gonna give away a $25 Amazon gift card. We get to 500, we're gonna give away a 50. We get to 1,000, we're gonna give $100 Amazon gift card. And I believe at the time we had said something like, if we get to 50,000 subs, I'll give away a PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
So that's on the table as well. So
still out there.
tell everybody you know. But I just kind of wanted to pick your brain a little bit, even because we do the videos and and I put them out on the channel, and some of them do well for what I think that where we're at.
Sure.
Some of them exceed expectations and some of them don't do super great. But yeah, I'm gonna run 10 to 1 our top 10 videos and how many views they've gotten. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. I think that's accurate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. So the number 10 is for the teaser trailer reaction for the Netflix movie Blonde. We'll have a reaction to the full trailer coming here in the next few days, but that one has 354 views. Good Morning is number 9, the trailer reaction for Good Morning starring Machine Gun Kelly.
Wow.
And Megan Fox, 373 views. Ticket to Paradise trailer reaction, because you kind of see there's going to be like a theme here.
Yeah.
Ticket to Paradise trailer reaction, 376 views. Thor Love and Thunder trailer number 2 reaction, 391 views. Kung Fu Panda Dragon Knight trailer, which that's on Netflix, by the way, as of like a week ago. 407 views. Rob Zombie's The Monster teaser trailer for the first one, the 534 views. Men trailer reaction, 605 views. Cowboy Bebop trailer reaction, 616 views. We Own This City trailer reaction, 795 views. And then the unbearable weight of massive talent trailer reaction number 2, 1,234 views. I would just the Monsters trailer reaction number 2 is probably could creep into the top 10. The most watched review of anything that we've done is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness review. And the most our most disliked video is the HBO Max Our Flag Means Death season 1 review with 14 dislikes and 0 likes.
Yes. That's all me right
I
there.
think that's so funny.
That's so funny.
Our most liked video is the Monsters teaser trailer number 1 with 19 likes against 0 dislikes.
I like that.
Those Monsters ones are really popular for some reason. There's several others with like over 100 whatever. There was a lot of views on like a lot is relative, I suppose, but
Sure.
Cowboy Bebop canceled after 1 season. We did a season review. And our most watched food review is actually it's a Tony's Pizza on Ventura Beach pizza review by you. 72
all right
there. And the Lady Gaga Oreo is the one with the most for both of us. It's 58 views. And one partially blocked video, shark bait trailer reaction. It's blocked in the Middle East.
Oh,
and I thought about posting that like one time, like see the trailer reaction, the trailer reaction that the Middle East doesn't want you to see. Start an international incident.
Yes.
So what do you? I mean, like I said, I kind of, I'm the mastermind behind all the videos and everything.
Right.
What's your? I guess what's your take on the videos in general? Are you surprised that the trailer reactions have done pretty well versus the reviews who haven't done as well? I mean, what are your takeaways?
I would say like the trailer reactions.
You don't shut your mouth, I will fucking kill you.
I think the thing with the trailer reactions is that's just like spur of the moment. Like we are really, in the moment of like seeing something like that. And I think people kind of like that a little bit more. It's also quicker. And people just have short attention spans. We all do. I think the thing with the reviews too, a lot of times, if people, we're all victims of this too. If we don't like what someone says, we get mad and move things like that. And I think there's always that thing where people just won't even watch a review or read a review because they're like, well, if this person doesn't like what I liked, then I'm just going to be angry. And there's almost like the avoidance of that kind of thing. With a trailer reaction, it's like, I think the thing is, well, none of us know what this is going to be like, unless you just really are like all in on whatever the subject matter is.
And we've experienced that with some negative comments directed at us.
Right.
For our take on some different things. Obviously, Our Flag Means Death was a big one that, we got a lot of hate for.
We did.
Based on your reaction to it. And that was one of those things that was funny. It was like, you went first and didn't like it really, really vehemently.
Yes.
And then I came in after and was like, oh, well, I actually liked it. And these are the reasons why. But no one stuck around for
Nobody
that.
stuck
they
around.
Were like, fuck this guy with his nasally voice and his arms.
Right. They're just like, nope, none of this. Yeah. It's very funny. We've all been there. Like, I get it. If I've watched something like that and somebody like
tears down something you like,
right. Sure. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing for me. I mean, like the unbearable weight of talent is massive talent. That's funny to me that it was just such a high thing, but it's because it shows you how much people like Nicolas Cage.
Right.
I think that's also like part of it. And it was also like an under the radar movie, even though we, were so ready for it. And
Right.
everybody
Right.
loved this movie that saw it. I mean,
Yeah.
there's very few negative thoughts on this movie. And I think that was the thing where people were just so happy that he was back big
Not
time.
that
Not
he
that he
was ever
went,
gone.
yeah, not that he was ever gone, but it was just to see that. I think people were just excited that, okay.
Yeah.
And I think that was a lot of it too. For it to have that kind of number is sort of shocking to me. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that our numbers are like small compared to other things. I'm well aware, but like
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
us,
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
two honestly, literally nobodies, they're just doing a podcast and hoping to gain some sort of traction along the
Mm-hmm.
line. I mean, to see something go over 1,000 is pretty crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
and I was telling Janie the other day, I was like going through my, Instagram things, and the video with the highest views on my Instagram is me just blading a champagne bottle.
Right.
And it's
Right.
which is insane. I mean, like,
Yeah.
why is that the video that has 5,000 views and like
Yeah.
actually crafted, pizza videos, all that stuff, like have, okay numbers sometimes, not all the time. And that's like hilarious to me though. Just what attracts people or what gets. I don't know how the algorithm works either. That's also
Right.
kind of that thing. Like
Well,
why?
yeah. And I don't think anybody truly knows, but that's the thing that I've been kind of picking up. Like, oh, you can actually use hashtags or you
Yeah.
can do this. And I've been kind of learning that slowly as I go. And it's been like, before it was literally we would just put a static image of the podcast up and that was it. And nobody watched that, which is fine. And then it was like, oh, well, you really pushed me to do video. I'd never wanted to do video. I didn't want to do it at all. And I was like, all right, well, we'll try this with this Oreo thing and then we'll see. And then we're like, okay, we'll do like maybe one a month. And then it became once a week. And then it became, well, all reviews now are going to be video. And then it became this. And then it was like, well, we're doing trailer reactions on podcasts. That's stupid. There's no visual component to it. We'll just do that. To the point now where we're putting something out pretty much every day.
Right.
And it used to be the other thing that step by step, was
day by
day was like the thumbnails. And it's like the thumbnails were just whatever. And then when we interviewed your friend John, the Santa Barbara baker, he was like, no, you have to put you on it. You have to put, you are your brand. So you have to put your picture on it or your personality or whatever behind it. And I was like, oh, well, I should be doing that with thumbnails. And so I, and like just trying to make like the production value like look a little bit slicker or more professional, whatever. But between that and then like, oh, you can do hashtags, whatever. We've seen a steady growth, I would say, but more so just in the last 5 or 6 months, it's been more of an explosion. Because if you do look at our numbers, like, I obsess over this crap. I shouldn't, but I do. And
also does.
That's so weird. But but it's like, month by month views, it was, a good month was like, oh, we got like, 200 views this month. And now it's in July, we got 2,200. You know what I mean? So the growth is there. We just have to like keep, working at it or whatever. But of all the videos that we've done, what is your favorite?
I think my favorite is the R flag means death. because it's just the instant reaction of people hating it was so funny to me. And it's just like and it's one of those few things where like I'm usually pretty positive.
Right.
I'm the one that's the positive one on this. And I was very negative. And you've been negative on things and we get, no real reaction.
Yeah.
And for it to just have this, it's 19 dislikes, but I mean, it's just funny to me that we finally, I think we felt something that like more popular, not to say more popular. It just, people that have maybe a higher audience actually feel way more than we would normally feel, like that kind
Right.
of thing. It was weird. Like I honestly remember you like shared a couple of things with me about it. I was like,
Yeah.
I was just speaking my truth, whether it's the truth or not. It was just like it was weird, and I just remember like, wow, like to care that much about this particular show was
I don't
just
know that we
because
got any comments about it. It was just
the negative
yeah.
reaction. Like you said, like, oh, yeah, I remember you told me like I forget how many dislikes we had like
Yeah.
almost instantly or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just so weird to me that, and I think you even said, well, it's like, well, obviously nobody watched the second half of this.
Right.
And
Right.
and for me, it was just like that review showed exactly how the internet works.
Yeah.
Is no one
Yeah.
even wanted to wait around for your response. They
Right.
just wanted, they saw mine and they're like, fuck this guy,
Right.
and I'm out. Like,
Yeah.
and I think that's probably my favorite. I mean, the most surprising thing is the Nicholas Cage. I mean, that just is. It's just
Yeah.
as much as we love him and as much as there's that, response to him, that just is wild to me.
Yeah. I'm gonna give a couple comments that are fun. I just had him up. Dude on the right, this is from the Good Morning video. Dude on the right, that's me.
Okay.
Dude on the right is insufferable, laughing my ass off. Yeah, LMFAO. Yep, that's me, and I am
That's funny.
insufferable. So
I
thank
like
you
it.
for pointing out what you already knew. The man on the left, that's
Me
you. Yep. Man on
on
the
your
left
left.
sounds like a robot talking, weird voice. I respond to that one. Thanks for the
Thanks for
feedback.
the free. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
funny. I never get robot. That's one thing I've
Right.
never been told.
This one was one of our favorites that we had a good laugh about. House of Dragon trailer reaction. This is based off because we had both called it fan fiction.
Yeah.
The series is based off of the book Fire and Blood, written by George R. R. Martin. So no, not fan fiction. Its time period is about 170 to 200 years preceding the events of the original Game of Thrones series and details the Targaryen civil wars. So with respect, you guys are misinformed on that assessment. If either of you want to educate yourself on the show and the series and its history, I would suggest you check out the Emergency Awesome review of the trailer. He did great work on Game of Thrones reviews, and I expect he'll do just as well in this series. Thoughts?
Cool. I don't know. I mean, people that get into that is just it throws me for a loop after working at a bookstore and dealing with like the Game of Thrones kind of like thing and all that stuff. And it's, if you're into something, you're into something.
Right.
As much as I love a lot of things, I don't have that feeling towards, I don't think anything. I really
Yeah.
don't. I don't know. Like if you told me, like, I mean, when I'm, just, we'll get into this, but it's like, I love the movie American Psycho. If you told me you hated it, I'd be like, I can understand how you hate it.
Right.
And if the Marvel stuff, it's like, if you don't like Marvel stuff, I'm like, that's fine. Like,
Yeah.
I don't, with the Game of Thrones, I would say like Game of Thrones, that is probably number one for people. Is like, they cannot believe it and are like, for me that I've noticed.
I spend a lot of time in toxic fan bases on Twitter, and like,
sure,
I would say the Star Wars people who are, what's funny is that there's like three groups of Star Wars people, right? There's the group that hate everything that's not the original trilogy.
sure.
And I think that I would probably be like, used to be part of that group. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the people who you have to like everything. You have to like everything. If you have a booger that's in the shape of Baby Yoda, Grogu's head, you must take a picture of it, share it, and like, oh my god, this whole like the Jonah Hill
right
thing.
Exactly.
And then there's the people who are just like just like whatever you want, man. And that's where I'm at now.
That's
But
where I'm at too.
But the you have to like everything. People have a term for the sequel haters called the fandom menace. But it's apparent to me that those are the people who are actually a menace because you are not allowed to have a negative opinion about anything.
Right.
And those are the worst people. Like, if you don't love everything, you're not a true fan. It's like, well, guess what, friends? The sequel sucked. You can like them, and that's your prerogative. But I'm sitting over here saying the sequel sucked.
Right.
And those people are just the worst. Those people are the worst, man. They're the worst. They're worst. But the Game of Thrones people are bad because they're so like they're so, what's the word, condescending. And
I mean, that
like,
was the thing. Yeah. Because I made a joke. Like working at, this is shocking, working at the bookstore, I made a lot of jokes about everything.
Right.
And somebody was buying a Game of Thrones book. And I was like, oh, whatever. I think it was just one of those days. You're just like kind of in the chit chat, like whatever. And I was like, oh, I hope this book's better than season 8, like making that kind of thing. And the person's like, well, have you read them? And I was like, no, I haven't read them. I was honestly making a joke. He's like, I'm buying this for a friend of mine. He's like, I've read all of them twice.
Yeah.
And it's like, the books are better, but like, if you aren't reading the text, then you probably shouldn't even really be watching the show. And I'm like, okay. And I'm just like, and what's funny is like, if you looked at that guy, I'm not trying to like you would have never really guessed it. I mean, he was kind of a bro, and it was just like a younger bro. Like, I would say probably a good 10 years younger than I was at that time. It almost looked like a surfer guy, but he was just like fully into that. And when I just made like a very passive joke, like very much like, I hope it's better than season 8.
Yeah.
He just,
I'll tell you what,
lost his mind. It was hilarious. I was just like, cool, dude. Like,
here's what's funny about that. Here's what's funny about that is I own every piece of Game of Thrones literature fiction that's ever been written by George Martin. I own all of them. I own the book that this Yahoo in the comments is talking about. Guess what? Season 8 sucked. And I consider the sequel trilogy in the Star Wars thing to also be fan fiction. Learn how to take a fucking joke, people. I only have one more, and it's from Patio Houlihan. To this was about
not a friend of the program.
This was regarding the CW Gotham Knights trailer reaction. To the CW, I dare you to make a show about a character that has fans. I dare you to make something that can be watched without needing testosterone injections to counteract the tit growth your shows cause. It'll be my privilege to never watch 1 second of this limp dick show, CW. Goddamn, how can you still not fucking get it? I've prayed every night for years for DC's bankruptcy. If they searched for shows outside, show ideas outside of San Fran AIDSCO, there's a chance they'd make something watchable. But if they don't get it after Supergirl, Batwoman, Stargirl, Black Lightning matters, and that time traveling lesbian show, then they're simply incapable of getting it. Canceled Swamp Thing, but here comes Gotham Knights.
I'm gonna guess that our friend Patio is probably from Boston. Just
weirdly enough. Oh no, never mind. It's I was looking at his his videos.
Just going from that. That guy, that's a heck of a comment. Not directed at us. That was the funny thing. Purely not directed at us. Just
not even a little
getting it out there.
Just putting it out, putting that hate out in the world.
Yep.
He's a little I think he's got some phobias.
I feel like he just needs a Guinness and a nap.
Little pinch.
Yeah.
Just a pinch.
Just a little bit.
All right. We've wasted enough time. I think. Go check out our YouTube channel.
Do it.
BXG Podcast. You can get all these trailer reactions, all the reviews, including this throwback review
Boom.
of a movie that we both hold near and dear to our hearts. It is the masterpiece. I don't know about masterpiece, might be a little strong.
It's very good.
The cult classic. I think we can say that. The cult
It
classic.
is a cult classic.
The 2000 cult classic, American Psycho, based on the book of the same name by Bret Easton Ellis, starring Christian Bale as Patrick Bateman with Justin Theroux, Josh Lucas, Bill Sage, Reese Witherspoon, Samantha Mathis, Matt Ross, Willem Dafoe, Jared Leto, Chloe
Savine, I think is how you say it.
Yeah. Attaboy. And other bit characters, but this is a movie that was on both of it was in the top 2 for our favorite movies of all time. I just watched it last night for the first time and really a long time. And I actually caught a few things that I had never seen before when watching it, or never specifically observed before. But let's kind of wade into the deep here. And I've always had one complaint about this movie, and that it is labeled as a horror movie. Sure, when it is, it's not.
It's psychological.
I would never seen it.
Right.
If it was a horror movie. Because
you're scared of horror movies.
Big bitch over here.
The number one thing I'll start with is that you introduced me to this movie. So first time I watched it was with you. You're just like, I think you'll love this movie. And I was like, oh, sure. I watched it. And I immediately was just like, I need to own this movie. And I purchased it very quickly afterwards. I probably watch this movie about twice a year. It's a good, because it's a pretty quick movie too.
Yeah, it's only about an hour and a half.
Yeah. And so it's a good, if you're doing something around the house or whatever, I can just pop it on and pay attention to. I know it well enough after watching it so many times that I know when I really want to pay attention. Is that a Trump?
Yeah. No. What would Ivana be doing here?
Yeah. Anyhow, sorry.
Didn't she die recently?
She just died. Yeah.
That's
died.
fucked up.
R.I.P. in your golf course. So it's, to me, it's one of the funnier movies that still kind of holds up with its humor. It because it's based in the 80s.
Yeah.
Off the book, like you said. In the book, I've read the book. Have you read the book, Brenton?
Of course.
Okay, I want to make sure. I never know. With everybody, but the book is if you think the movie's kind of ridiculous, the book is. You couldn't make the book a movie, really. If you took it as much as closely as you could, you just couldn't do it. It's ridiculous. And yeah, there we go. Beautiful. Somebody stole my edition, so I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I lent mine to Sean Birdie, and he never gave it back, and then he moved to Washington D.C.
Yeah, so I had to buy.
I bought a new copy.
And so I think for me, that's one of the best things. It is very funny. I mean, obviously, it has its moments where it's not, but even when it isn't. If you've watched it enough, like you and I have, you're just getting ready for that next, not a punchline, but just the next funny thing that happens. And it starts out even comically with the blood dripping on the plates, and then you realize that they're at this fancy restaurant and all this stuff. To me, it's still Christian Bale's best role. I love that. I mean, it's just. He's definitely had, things he's been nominated for, but I really just enjoy the whole thing about it. I mean, he's so serious the entire time. It's so over the top. You sent me a thing where it was actually relating to a certain character. Yes, how this was inspired. And what was that, Brenton? I've heard a couple different things. I've heard Tom Cruise.
He said
relating that.
Apparently based on Nicolas Cage's performance in Vampire's Kiss 1988.
Okay.
as the two characters are strikingly similar. So,
Yeah.
I mean, legend begets legend there,
Right.
obviously. Right.
I've never seen Vampires Kiss, but it makes me
No, I
want to
don't think
watch
I
it.
have either. I wonder if
Um,
it's on anything.
so I
Maybe
think
another
for me, that's
throwback
just like one
for
of those
us.
things where, you know, you talk about not being a horror movie. I mean, I don't even know what you could say. You could just say
Well,
it's
it's
a dark
satire.
comedy.
It's satire.
Yeah, I say just call it like dark comedy or satire. And it just works the entire time for me. Everyone's so over the top. I think that's the other thing I really love. Like when you see Paul Theroux dancing
Justin Thoreau.
and Justin Theroux, I'm sorry, Paul Theroux is his uncle. Justin Theroux dancing. It's just so insane, and everything is so glitzy and glamorous.
Yeah.
And then you see, so you see the highest end, and then you see the lowest end in this movie, and it's all just kind of the same. And so it really plays on all of that really well. And I always leave this every time I see it. I always leave this movie feeling exactly the same, where I'm like satisfied and also like just a touch disgusted, because as much as this was all about the yuppie culture of the 80s,
Yeah, and like the whole decadence and everything.
right, that kind of all this stuff never really changes. It just suits become different. I mean, that's really the way I look at it. Like fashion just changes, but really this kind of culture doesn't. Not to like dig too deep in this, because even though this movie is doing that and the book is 100% doing that,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
That almost may, I'll be honest with you. First of all, I feel like we probably shouldn't do this. We should just do like an episode that is the book and the movie, like a full episode.
Yeah.
At some point. But the book is almost in some cases like unreadable because of how. I'll just give you a different. I'll just give you a sample actually. This is on the Yale Club chapter in the book. It's about little under halfway through, and this is just a paragraph I pulled. The three of us, David Van Patten, Craig McDermott, and myself, are sitting in the dining room of the Yale Club at lunch. Van Patten is wearing a Glen plaid wool crepe suit with Cariza Uomo, and a Brooks Brothers shirt, a tie from Adirondack, and shoes by Cole Haan. McDermott is wearing a lamb's wool and cashmere blazer, worsted wool flannel trousers by Ralph Lauren, and a shirt and tie also by Ralph Lauren, and shoes from Brooks Brothers. I'm wearing a tick weave wool suit with a window pane over plaid, a cotton shirt by Luciano Barbera, a tie by Luciano Barbera, and shoes by Cole Haan, and non-prescription glasses by Bausch and Lomb. Like that's a full paragraph on just what they're wearing, and that is in every chapter that he has encounters with other people. He has, and I think it's really hard to be able to do that in the movie. I think that they did it well to an extent with the whole thing about like Marcus Halberstram.
Yeah.
And that's what I led into your introduction with, was that from the movie. But that, and it's in the book obviously, but the business card scene, I think the business card scene is honestly legendary. Like that's like an iconic scene at this point.
People who haven't seen this movie use this. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's billboards around and they'll say things like it even has a watermark.
Yeah.
Or stuff like that, you know. And that's the thing is I feel like this movie's weirdly quotable.
100%.
And like the whole, like I have to return some videotapes and
Jamie straight in a Corona. Would you like to hear tonight's specials?
Not if you want to keep your space. And there's like a few, murders and executions mostly, and there's a few things from the book that didn't make their way into the movie that I've always been a little bit disappointed with, because I don't think that there was anything controversial about their inclusion. Would have been the one, obviously, that he orders milkshakes extra thick.
Yeah.
From the book. Yeah. I want a milkshake extra thick. And I actually like tried that for a little while, like going to get milkshake. I want this milkshake. I want it extra thick. And like, we only have one consistency of thickness.
Really do it this way.
So there was that, but then, and I've always said that the scene from the breakup scene from the book isn't complete in the movie because he does not serve her the chocolate covered urinal cake.
Right. Right.
And I noticed, and I think that this is probably at least a little bit of an homage to that. She is in the movie, Reese Witherspoon's character, during the breakup scene. She's eating a mint cake.
She is eating a mint cake, yeah.
But she just doesn't, she never takes a bite out of it, so we don't necessarily know.
Yeah.
And so maybe, but it's that scene in the
for the heads. Yeah.
Well,
for
yeah.
The heads, it's paying homage to those.
Right. And some of the other, the book is so gnarly. Like it's you have to like put it down and just kind of like walk around the room at times because it's just like ugh. But I mean, talk to me a little bit about just like Christian Bale and this character, or maybe some of the bit characters, Reese Witherspoon, Willem Dafoe, Jared Leto, some of these other guys.
I mean, I think for me, and just go off as I did go to a bar one after a really rough restaurant bar after a really rough outing when I worked at the bookstore. Power went out, rough night. We went to this bar and I saw they had J&B Scotch, and I also saw they had Corona as a bottle. And the glee, relief washed over me in a great wave.
Right,
Brenton. And I ordered it, J&B straight in a Corona. I mean, like, and just like Janie was with me, and she's like, "You got a lot of pleasure out of saying that." And she's seen it. I was like, "I did." It was like, there's so few times where like I could have done that. Like you said, with the quotability of it. For me, with like the side characters, I mean, Paul Allen is
he's Paul Owen in the book, right?
He's Paul Owen in the book.
And then Bryce is Price.
Price, yeah.
Yeah, Price.
Yep. Yeah, they changed names a little bit, but I think Jared Leto is just so he's just the waspiest of the waspy in this movie.
Yeah.
And I just it was Papers Now, he got a little chow or something. And
yeah,
he's listening, is this Whitney Houston? All these things are like happening, and he's so oblivious to what's actually going on around him. I think that's one of my favorite things about that scene is he really doesn't know. I mean, he's drunk because he had a bunch of drinks, but he's also just, it wouldn't have mattered. And I really love his character. Justin Theroux is the only one that's like likable. And what's funny is he mentions that, like, he's the only one that, Patrick Bateman can stand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Price is the only one he finds interesting.
Yeah.
And they make it like that in the book, and they make that like that in the movie. The rest of them, they always just kind of fade out when the other ones are talking. And, and I just really like that. And I think Reese Witherspoon, this is like one of her earlier roles. It's not her earliest, but it's one of her earlier roles. And she's so, once again, like, I think the biggest theme for me is the obliviousness of everyone.
Yeah.
He's got his headphones on in the car, and she's planning their wedding. And he's not even listening. He like has to pull the headphone off to like answer. Yeah. And she's just talking. It's just, the whole thing is just people talking, and none of it matters. And I think that's what sticks out to me is, and he rarely says anything. He kind of gets it. Like, the most you hear from him is actually as a monologue or when he's describing music. Which is incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's what sticks out for me. And Willem Dafoe is just such a great.
He's flexible. I mean, you can fit him in just about anywhere. What do you think? Give me one, maybe two standout moments from the movie that you think are maybe the most outlandish or the most memorable, what have you.
I mean, I think the most memorable scene for me is when he just does the apartheid speech. I love that beginning part because they're all just going on and he has the whole thing, and then it just becomes a joke again. Like, it literally goes from him being serious about what actually is happening on the rest of the world, and then a joke is thrown out there, and it's just like that wasn't even made. And I think, and that's very early on in the movie. And so you kind of know what you're getting into. I mean, for a speech wise, I think in the other one is him just running around in sneakers naked
with the chainsaw.
with his chainsaw. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that is, try getting a reservation now at Dorsey and now, you stupid fucking bastard, is a great scene. And,
Yeah.
you know, but the like, to me, it's like that beginning of the movie where you're just seeing the slate of something important is being brought up and nobody cares. And then him just running around in his underwear or running around in his no clothes in his sneakers. It's just so funny to me. And it's just, I think to me, like a good bookend on a book, or I'm sorry, on a ridiculous book that's made into a very ridiculous movie that still really works. This movie could have been terrible.
Yeah, and a lot of people, it got really bad critical scores at the time.
Yeah, at the time.
But the book is tougher because it is not in any type of chronological sequential.
No.
It just jumps all over the place. And that's what I was explaining recently to somebody who I recommended to, and they watched it. And I was like, well, the book, this is kind of boiled down differently so that it has what seems to be because like the middle is the end of the movie is like in the middle of the book where he like just goes off the deep end and like calls his lawyer and confesses to everything. And then he has the whole monologue about my confession means nothing. And then the book just keeps going. And then it just ends like the ending. There's no real ending. It just stops. And I think it's definitely a writing style. Like Bret Easton Ellis has a writing style. I've read 3 of his books, specifically American Psycho, Rules of Attraction, and Glamorama. And they just kind of, I feel like they start in the middle and they end in the middle. Mm-hmm. Because there's no real, like, there's no real story.
And I've heard him interviewed a few times, and he says that, like, well, life is always just kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
And that's kind of his idea.
Right. And that's fine. And I enjoyed, American Psycho is my favorite of the 3, but I enjoyed reading all 3 of those. But I think the business card scene aside, I think that's the most iconic scene from the movie. But I think for me, probably the Huey Lewis in the News where he cracks Paul in the face with the axe is probably, because that's the first time you really get the whole, him talking about the music. And it's like the way he talks about all of his CDs and the songs on them is just, it's complete insanity.
Yep.
And it's just so unnecessarily and unintentionally hilarious.
Oh yeah.
It's, and how he reacts to when Paul is asking him like the questions like, you got a little chow? And Patrick's just like, no, I don't, Paul. I like that. I like to see.
Is that an axe?
Yes, it is, Paul. It is Paul. No, raincoat. Are you wearing a raincoat? Raincoat. Yes, it is, Paul.
Yes, I am Paul. It's so good.
Oh, Christ. I'll call you. Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, it's possible that we could go into like an even deeper dive, compare the movie more thoroughly to the book, bring up some of the scenes that are in the book that aren't in the movie for good reason. They're not in the movie. This definitely would have been an NC, like, and it's not even a real rating, but like NC 25.
Right. Yeah.
Because this book is just, it's so wild. But yeah, I mean, I think that puts a nice, like, little throwback review for one of our favorite movies here in a week where there's not a whole lot going on.
Let us know if you haven't seen it and you decide to check it out. I think it's streamable somewhere. It usually is.
I watched it last night. It was on HBO Max.
Okay, it's usually streamable. Yeah. It's one of those movies that always just kind of hangs around.
We'll do a watch along.
It'd be fun. I'm always down to watch it.
Yeah, we could do.
I usually fit in my Halloween schedule, and then I usually watch it just randomly in like April or May.
Sure. Yeah, we're gonna start doing this. I think we're gonna start. The first one's gonna be what? The Dangerous Game, the Most Dangerous Game.
Yeah.
When's that Dangerous Game? Comes out pretty soon.
Soonish, like, yeah.
I want to say the 12th.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Dangerous Game movie release date. Oh no, the 5th.
Oh wow.
So that's this week. Yeah, that's this week. I won't be able to do a watch along this week. this weekend, but maybe we can do that. I'll tell you when I could. I could probably do it Sunday, but that's up to you.
I could probably do it. I don't have anything else going on Sunday.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll chat after. We're still recording right now. Media recommendations?
Yeah. I actually read another Tobias Wolff book. Old school. Not based. Not. It's not. The movie was not based off of this. It's prep school in the 60s, in 1960 to be exact. That kind of coming of age thing. Very kind of gnarly ending, but very good. I really like Tobias Wolff. It's 2 books for me so far with him. And I just started, I mentioned this to you today, Led Zeppelin, the biography by Bob Spitz. I just read the prologue and the first chapter, and it's great so far. I mean, I'm thoroughly in. Was listening to Led Zeppelin in the car, driving around afterwards. And, it's just, I've said this about, and it's so funny because I haven't even read Scar Tissue by Anthony Kiedis, but
you haven't?
I haven't, no.
Oh, wow.
Maybe it's because it's an autobiography, but I've read Flea.
He did. I mean, it was a ghostwriter.
Yeah. The thing I'll say is, if I think I could read a biography on a musician as long as it's well done about anyone, even someone I don't know anything about, because I think that kind of stuff is always so gnarly, and you learn so much about like the craft of it. So I'll just say, yeah, for me, those. We also watch Goodfellas. I mean, I've seen Goodfellas like 30 times in my life. The movie's still amazing. I can't. I know that sounds insane or whatever, but it's just so good. And if you're browsing around and you haven't watched Goodfellas in a while, everyone just go back and watch it. You're not going to be disappointed. So that would be. And we watched Paddington. We've never seen the first Paddington. Yeah. It's delightful. It's a delightful movie. Can't wait for Paddington 2, the best movie ever made, according to Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. For me, what was funny was we recorded some trailer reacts on Tuesday or Monday. Fuck, when did we do that? Sunday? Yeah, I don't know what day it is.
I don't know either.
It could be time as a flat circle. You posted those pictures of you watching Goodfellas or whatever at the exact same time I was watching Inception.
Nice.
And that's, I mean, as far as a movie recommendation goes, it's sort of the same thing. Like, if you haven't seen Goodfellas, you should probably watch it.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen Inception, you should probably watch it. I would say that's fair. I think Nolan's probably my favorite director. Even though I didn't love Tenet, like the Dark Knight trilogy.
I love Tenet. I'm like the person that loves Tenet. I've seen it now 4 times. It's so funny how much I love it. I don't know why.
I didn't really care for it, but Interstellar, Inception, the Dark Knight trilogy, obviously, The Prestige, Memento, all really, really great. Looking forward to Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
And I also played this game called Stray. It was a free with, you are a cat in the game.
Nice.
Yeah. It's really cool. You play as this cat who has to navigate this sort of like cyberpunk style city and figure out this mystery. It's not action packed. It's kind of like what you would consider like a point and click puzzle solver, a little adventure game, that sort of thing. But it was fun. I mean, it's like a 6-hour game, but it was free with the PS Plus subscription that I have, the premium. So I was like, oh, nice. I'll play this game about this cat. I love cats. So there's that. And what's funny, I've been itching to read a book. I know you read all the time, but I read in like fits and starts. It's like I could go for a book. So I think I might read a book.
All right, good. You should.
TBD on what that book is.
But reading is fundamental.
It's that Shaq picture, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I had a poster on my wall of him as Kazam that said "Release the power to read" when I was a kid.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, probably got one of those book fairs. BXG Podcast publishes every Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. 6 a.m. 6 a.m. 6 a.m. Pacific, 4 a.m. Hawaiian.
Aloha.
On podcast services around the globe. Social media, Instagram at BXG Podcast, at GT Phils, at Y2B, Twitter at BXG Podcast, at or I'm sorry, not Y2B, Alpha Donut Guy. I
Oops, sorry.
I was on autopilot there
Yeah.
for a second. Twitter at GT Filson, at BXG Podcast, at Alpha Donut Guy. Facebook page, facebook.com/BXG Podcast. Obviously the YouTube, which we talked about earlier. You can find us all there and check out our stuff and like, subscribe, and share if you want to be,
For sure. Do all
especially
that
on
stuff.
the YouTube thing. Subscribe and make your subscription public, so I know to enter you in the drawing for the gift
That's
card. So that's important if you want to be eligible to win. Take care. Thanks for listening.
Thanks
for
listening.
watching.
All that good stuff. Thank you.
All that good stuff.